Thank you for joining today on our session of Get to Know sessions. So today's Get to Know session is HSC Student Counseling Services on the Oklahoma City campuses. And while they're here at the Oklahoma City campus, they, from what I'm aware, they also are able to help with the Tulsa campus, the HSC programs of the Tulsa campus as well. So that's one of the things that is great whenever we are interconnected and can work together, the campuses, and help each other out is so very wonderful. But have a great team on the Oklahoma City campus, and several of them joining us here today. So really appreciate taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to join us and tell us a little bit more about the HSC Student Counseling Services, resources available, how students can tap into them, what they have available, who's eligible for them. Also, faculty, staff, important information for them to know to help students get connected to that and lead them to some of those services, and just be aware. So thank you guys so much. Dr. Cruzan, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Yeah, so I'll kind of introduce myself first. I am Craig Cruzan. I'm a licensed psychologist, and I'm the director up here at HSC Student Counseling Services. Just to kind of clarify some more about what Lindsay was saying, we do offer our services, obviously, to the HSC Oklahoma City campus and with the Tulsa campus, as well as the satellite campuses. So if you're in a program that might be on another city that's utilizing like dentistry or things like that, you're also welcome to utilize our services. But we will tell you more about that as we get into this. So first, I thought we'd kind of just go around and introduce ourselves. So I've kind of introduced myself. So I'm going to go around in the order that I have on my screen here. So Camille, you are next up.
Yeah, my name is Camille Montana, and I'm the admin specialist for Student Counseling Services.
Thank you, Camille. Catherine.
Hi, I'm Catherine Tufariello. I'm a licensed professional counselor, worked at Student Counseling Services for about 2.5 years now. Before becoming a counselor, I worked as a mental health nurse. So I get a lot of satisfaction from working with healthcare providers and training.
Thank you, Catherine. Talia.
Hi, my name is Talia Brown-Wiebelt, and I am the postdoctoral fellow here.
Thank you. Bracy.
Hello, my name is Bracy Dangerfield, and I am a pre-doctoral intern here.
Thank you. Garrett.
Hello, I am Garrett Prather. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I'm also another one of the staff counselors here, just like Catherine.
Thank you. Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia Abbott, and I'm the licensed professional counselor candidate this year.
Thank you, Alicia. Carmen.
Hi, my name is Carmen Drum. I am the Assistant Director of Student Counseling Services.
Thank you, Carmen. And Linda.
Hi, my name is Linda Champanel. I am a doctoral practicum student here at the Student Counseling Services, and I've been here for a couple of weeks. All right, so at this time, now that everyone got their introductions, we'll kind of move into a session where we can ask a lot of our frequently asked questions that we often get from a lot of our students and clients here. So we'll start off with our first question with, what can Student Counseling Services help with? And we'll have Catherine help with that.
Hi, so at Student Counseling Center, we work with students with a really wide range of issues affecting their mental and emotional health. Some of the more common concerns that we help with are anxiety, including things like test and performance anxiety, depression, managing stress, exploring identity concerns, working through grief and loss, and dealing with interpersonal challenges of different kinds, and adjustment issues. We offer not only individual counseling, but also couples or relationship counseling, group counseling, and psychological assessments.
Catherine, our next question will be for Garrett, and the question will be, who's eligible for these services and how much does it usually cost?
So if you are a student at the OU Health Science Center, the cost of the services are free. The costs are worked into the student fees, and this is also the case for medical residents as well, as they are also eligible to have services here at the HSC. Now, granted, there is a fee for any kind of psychological assessments, but that can be discussed at a later time with your counselor, or you can always call the office to get more details on that.
Thank you. And another popular question is, how do I schedule my appointment?
So yeah, you guys can reach out to us via email, phone call, or even coming into our office in person to make an appointment. For the sake of that way everyone knows, our phone number is found on the back of every student, faculty, and staff ID. But for the sake of ease, our phone number is 405-271-7336, and our email is counselors@ouhsc.edu, and we're located on the 3rd floor of the David L. Bourne Student Union in Suite 300. And once you guys make that initial connection, I can explain more in depth the process of the services you're interested in, the difference between telehealth therapy and in-person, along with the paperwork you'll need to get this process started. Either way, I'm here to help you guys begin your counseling journey.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to jump in there just for a moment too and talk a little bit about what that looks like for staff and faculty too in terms of scheduling an appointment. We do want to specify first off that staff and faculty aren't eligible for our services. This is just for students. Staff and faculty have some other options that are available to you all. But you might have occasion where you might be concerned about a student. You notice a student in one of your courses, or maybe just in your interactions, and you're wondering maybe they might benefit from some counseling. So we just want to specify that staff and faculty aren't really able to schedule appointments for students. We don't really allow that to happen. We really want to give the students that autonomy and that power to be able to make that decision for themselves. That doesn't mean that you can't really encourage them towards that and make sure you give them the information so they can make that call. You're also welcome to give us a call and kind of give us information and kind of let us know that the student might be coming over or things like that. Perfectly appropriate. If you're in a situation where you're concerned about a student at a level of safety, so you're worried about suicide, self-harm, even harm to others, things like that, and you're really wanting to think, I don't want to leave this student alone. I want to get them help because I'm not sure that they would stay safe if I were to leave them. In those situations, you have a couple of options. If it's during our operating hours, then you're welcome to just walk them over and we will take care of that. We'll do an assessment of them and we'll get them connected to whatever resources they might need in that case. It's helpful in those times that you might actually give us a call and a heads up that you're coming over so that we can get things prepared so that they're ready to jump in as soon as they get here. But even if you can't do that because of the circumstances, you just walk them right over, that's perfectly acceptable. We're happy still to take them. We'll probably have you fill out a little bit of paperwork when you get here, just asking a few questions about that student. But otherwise, we really appreciate you bringing them over. If it is the other options you might have, if it's not during our service hours, you can also call the 988 number and they will get you connected to a local resource in that way too. And they can walk you through steps in terms of what that suicidality might look like and ways you can get them assistance. And of course, as always, if you ever feel like you're personally in danger from a student, we just ask that you kind of exit that situation and call 911. We're not really an emergency service in that case. So if it's something where you're feeling in danger, please call 911 and the police will take care of that. 988 is also a useful resource in those moments.
Thank you, Dr. Cruzan and Camille. Our next question is, where is the office located?
So we are officed in the 3rd floor of the Student Union, Suite 300. So for everyone that goes to Chick-fil-A, we're the top floor above that. And our business hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, typically. That is when we have our most frequent sessions. However, sometimes, depending on the circumstances, you can discuss with us if we can possibly accommodate sessions at other times outside of those hours. We are closed on public holidays, so if the campus is closed, especially due to a weather issue, inclement weather, we get so much lovely ice in Oklahoma, the Student Counseling Center will be closed in that case. So in that case, you can, give us an email, call us, voicemail, and we will get you rescheduled once we are open again.
Thank you, Talia. Our next question is, are appointments private and confidential throughout our sessions?
So yes, and a simple answer is yes by law. We cannot discuss anything that happens in session. And if someone calls to ask if you even came, our standard reply is I cannot confirm or deny. There are some exceptions to that, which I will go over. If you mention harming yourself or others, those we have to report those. If you mention any elder abuse or child abuse, we have to report those. And of course, if we get a court order, we have to kind of abide by the court order. And then if you give us permission to release information, we will. But the document that is signed for that is very detailed. So we will only release relevant information that's approved by you.
Thank you, Bracy. Another question we get is, does anyone on our team offer counseling in any other language other than English?
So currently our team only offers services in English. However, for students who may need services in a foreign language, there is an app called My Student Support Program, and that offers 24/7 access to mental health articles and services. And that you can find more information for that on our website.
Thank you. And another question is, what is student wellness?
Our student wellness programming is focused on holistic well-being. So we regularly offer presentations, typically on Mondays during the lunch hour for students to participate in, and it covers all sorts of topics that we notice are relevant and supportive to our population here. We also make ourselves available if any student groups or classes, cohorts, resident groups maybe find that it would be helpful to have an in-person presentation directly to those groups, then we accept invitations, of course, to come do presentations or host discussions on those topics, whether that be over self-compassion, if it's imposterism, stress management, all of these types of issues here. And then if there's something specific, maybe that isn't listed on our current events or on our website, but is an issue that is noticed that students or residents would like support in, we also can design with enough notice, design a discussion or presentation for those groups as well.
All right, thank you all for answering a lot of these questions. At this time, I kind of want to open up to see if anybody did have any questions or any concerns that you'd like to address with any of our team members.
Now, I have a quick question. I know you guys mentioned that who's eligible for students, and you can also do couples and group counseling. Now, does everyone involved need to be an HSC or an OU student, or is it possible where only one is an HSC student and maybe they have a spouse and want to do couples counseling and maybe the spouse is not a student? How does that work, or is that possible?
That's a great question, Lindsay. And it is fine if only one partner is an HSC student. At least one has to be, but both do not have to be. And they're welcome to our couples and relationship counseling.
Awesome, great information. And then also, I know I'm familiar with BIT, or the Behavioral Intervention Team. How does that resource, that tool, kind of work with maybe student counseling services, or how does that, when would you use that if you're suggesting to a student, faculty, staff, comparative to, walking someone over to the counseling center and what have you?
BIT is separate from student counseling services, but definitely could be something that overlaps. So the behavioral intervention team is a team of individuals across campus that serve in a caring capacity to both staff, faculty, and students, that people are noticing maybe a shift from their baseline and they're concerned for their well-being. And so the BIT team might receive a referral, and in a position of care for an individual that a referral has been made for, suggest counseling and encourage that student to be connected with services with us, and we will of course support in that way. So in that, if a person is working with a student, they've noticed that they're disheveled, they're not performing at their baseline and they're concerned, but they're not at the level of where maybe they need to walk that student over. It's not a crisis situation. They're noticing their shift. It's still maybe very relevant to go ahead and submit a BIT referral to the BIT team who would then monitor, how that student is doing and try to provide support in a way that actually helps them to not have any further drifting from that baseline or any further like a deterioration if they're experiencing that. And then like counseling services, would be BIT doesn't serve in a crisis like support manner for the counseling team, if that would be where to bring that student and walk that student over if they're showing distress at that level. Sometimes I have encouraged students to use the BIT referral system as well when they are, when they're really concerned for peers. It's come up before when I'm providing counseling for an individual that they're really worried about maybe their roommate that's in distress and noticing a lot of behavioral concerns that, of course, are out of their influence and control. Just by sharing that with someone, we can't do anything as counselors to be supportive to that roommate, and so then encouraging that person like, well, this is a great example of how you as a student can use this referral system, and then a team is activated to reach out to that roommate and see what they're doing.
And you guys might have already addressed it, and I may have missed it, so I apologize. Are services only in person? What if someone would prefer to do a virtual, or that's maybe more convenient for them? Is that possible?
Yes, it is. So we have both telehealth and in-person services. But sorry, Gary, I jumped in there in front of you. But yeah, we have both in-person available now. We were telehealth for a long time with everything that was going on with the pandemic, but we were able to open back up last year to in-person. And so now either one is an option. The only thing that we ask if you decide to do a telehealth session is that you put yourself somewhere where you're safe, no driving or anything like that. And we ask that you do your best to kind of have some confidential space there, just so that you're feeling comfortable with that.
Well, I know you guys also typically have a lot of great events. Whether it's like for Distress Fest sort of type things, and Carmen hit on some different workshops for students, faculty, and staff to keep up with those events and activities that you guys have available. What's the best way for someone to keep up with that and see what's going on?
I love that question. I think that there are a couple avenues to that. One would be, checking in on the student calendar, which you could go to the student calendar site and see, or you could also go to the student wellness site and scroll down, and there would be a list of upcoming events as well in that space. Staff or faculty, if they would like to receive the daily news that students receive, could also subscribe to that, and then they would receive on a regular basis the same promotions that students are receiving that gives a list of upcoming events as well. I've definitely, we've set up the student calendar in a way in which the dimensions of wellness can be indicated on anyone's event, because anything that anyone is creating across campus and promoting to students, touches in one of those aspects. And a lot of other organizations and groups on campus are able to do more social, events than we are. And so we absolutely want those to be noted in that space. So the student calendar or the daily news gives a nice overview of all of those things that's accessible to students.
Excellent. And as we kind of wind down, I guess give an opportunity if there's anything else that any of y'all have to add. I think we've covered a lot of great information, and certainly a follow-up email I'll send out that will have maybe suggested links for more items that you guys have mentioned as well. But is there anything else? I'll just kind of open up the floor if anyone else has something to add.
I don't think so. I think we've done a great job of kind of going through a lot of the frequently asked questions, and I appreciate all of the additional information that you kind of prompted from us, Lindsay. That was really helpful. To really just thank everybody for attending today and then just kind of watching this and using this information. I hope it's helpful to everyone, and thank you to Live Well and Lindsay for putting this together for us.
Well, we really appreciate you all and your great staff and making such great resources to help, you know, most certainly the HSC campus students and HSC community to be successful and healthy in their overall well-being. And so really appreciate you guys and your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks.